it's Jen Harris, and I am here to tell you guys some amazing stuff that I've been working on that I cannot wait to share with you. Many of you may know my story, but some of you still might not know it. So I thought I'd start off by sharing my story with you guys about my divorce and separation. I was actually married to an addict and in a very, very, very toxic relationship. It got to the point where he was recovering and relapsing and recovering and continuing that cycle. And even though I had decided to stay, I hadn't gotten the help that I needed to be in a partnership with an addict. So I became codependent, and our relationship was just severely toxic. I did things throughout that relationship that I'm not proud of. I'm sure he'd say the same thing, but it was just one of those situations where it wasn't that we were horrible people. We just weren't working together anymore, and it was a very toxic situation. During one of those toxic blowups, I actually nearly ended my own life. Thank God that I was not successful, but I had hit rock bottom. The next day, I actually realized that I was at a breaking point. It was either completely change everything or stay where I was and end up worse off, or not, maybe not even around. I started implementing things that I had learned from my experiences in the past, as well as diving super deep into getting professional help, as well as learning things on my own. I did so much research, and I basically used all of that to implement my own program to get myself through my experience of divorce. As I implemented these things into my life, my career started thriving, my life started thriving. I was able to focus on my kids and be the best version of myself for them. They are thriving and super happy as well. I fell in love with myself again, and I found a healthy relationship. There are so many things that happened to me as a result of implementing a few basic things into my life to stop struggling with the divorce process and truly, truly thrive through it. I'm looking to help others that are where I was. I went from nearly taking my life to completely thriving, and I want to help them do the same. Even on the hardest of days now, I still have the tools and resources to quickly bounce back. And overall, I live a super high quality of life in my mind, in my actions, and just completely all around. It's time to stop just surviving your divorce, your separation experience, and truly thrive. I know that divorce and separation can be some of the most traumatic things you can experience in life. Matter of fact, some research even states that it's more traumatic than death of a loved one, because the divorce or separation is the death of a relationship. It's a death of life as you know it. And therefore, it can have so many negative impacts on ourselves, our self-esteem, our mind, and our quality of life. But I'm here to tell you that there's hope, and that I found the way that you can quickly and efficiently bounce back with just some super simple things. And I'm going to share those with you. Not only have I had the experience through my own divorce and years of it, going through the ups and downs, the trials and tribulations of the experience that many of you may know, but I'm also an international motivational speaker and trainer, a certified transformation and confidence coach, and I have helped so many others with this simple practice that they've implemented into their life to truly thrive through and on the other side of their divorce. Matter of fact, I want to share one of those testimonials with you right now. This testimonial is from one of my clients, Heather Keller. She said, "I would definitely recommend Thrive Factory to anyone who's experienced a divorce or separation. Jen provides valuable resources and each week asks us to think about how we can make small changes that will contribute to our thriving instead of just surviving. She's very warm and welcoming in the video meetings, which helps put me at ease being around people I don't know and who don't know my own personal situation. She gears the conversation to fit many different situations, since not all divorces are the same. And she's so supportive of each participant. She really and truly wants each one to grow and succeed, offering lots of tools and help along the way. I'm so glad I participated. Heather, I'm so glad you did too. It is my true life's mission to help other people through this experience that I've been through, now that I've learned and know everything that I do about getting through and truly thriving on the other side. So now I want to teach you about something really cool. It's a small piece of the practices that I implemented into my life and that I work with my clients on how to start thriving. This can mean you're at the beginning of it, you're thinking about it, you're going through it, or you've even ended it, but you need that extra oomph to get back on the road to healing, the road to recovery, the road to regrowth, and the road to true thriving mode. That one small piece that I'm talking about here is visualization. See, the way things work, and I'm going to get a little nerdy on you, talk nerdy to you, because I am a little bit of a nerd, and this stuff really does excite me, but it's so true. And I love when things work and then I understand why they work and it's backed by facts. So, our brains literally control what we pay attention to. We go through our daily lives processing millions of pieces of information, and we truly only pay attention to certain pieces of that because our brains have a subconscious that filters things through. And it says, oh, you're interested in this. Oh, that doesn't seem important to you, right? So the journey through a rough experience, such as a bad marriage, the trauma of a divorce, all the hard things that we go through with that, those things can rewire our brains in such a way that we live below our desires and true potential. Therefore, we have to take control and rewire our brains. Rewiring our brains comes through as neuroplasticity, basically. And that's where we rewire our brain by growing new neurons and strengthening the connection between our neurons. Now, neurotransmitters exist in our brain that basically connect things together through experiences, through memories, through our thoughts to tell us what to focus on and what to pay attention to in our lives. See, you can look at life two different ways. You can look at life as either it's happening to me or it's happening around me and I get to react. When you look at it as it's happening around me and I get to choose how to perceive it and react, then you're going to live in such a better place and you're truly going to thrive. But it takes some practice to do that. And so we have to strengthen those bonds in our brain in order to look at life that way and look at the things in our life that way. Now, it does get a little bit more complicated than that, but I'm going to teach you some really helpful things that you can start doing now that's going to help with that. And so what I want you to think of this as in these neurotransmitters and the neurons in your brain is a bond. The more you do something, the more you're strengthening that bond. And it's kind of like every time you practice these exercises that I give you, you're going to be wrapping a layer around a wire that's just going to create more and more strength. So if you think about it and you have a piece of toilet paper and you could just very easily pull it apart like that, it's not very strong. But if I take a piece of toilet paper and I start wrapping duct tape around it, and then another layer of duct tape, and then another layer of duct tape, it's eventually so strong that I can't pull it apart at all. And that's how you create the rewiring in your brain to go from thinking from the traumatic experiences to completely rewired and just thriving and going beyond surviving the experience that you've gone through. And there's even proof of athletes like Buffalo Bills kicker Stephen Hauschka. Now, guys, I am not a sports fanatic. I do love sports, but not a sports fanatic. So I am so sorry to anyone who may be able to correct my pronunciation of that. Please do. But there are proof of many athletes like him who have used visualization, like what I'm going to teach you, to improve their performance on the field. How cool is that? Like, there's so many proven facts out there on how this works. So I'm going to show you two of my favorite things that are super simple and easy that you can start doing right now. So the first thing that you can start doing right now to start rewiring your brain and start thriving through your divorce or separation is start saying affirmations every single day. And I want to give you an example of what those affirmations might look like. So affirmations are basically a way that you're rewiring your brain by training it to think a different way. It's very, very easy when we go through divorce or separation or even a traumatic experience in our life to start thinking negatively and really start, woe is me, and life is happening to me, and this is the best it's going to get, and it's scary, and there's so much fear, right? When we start practicing affirmations, something that you can just do every single day, in the morning, at night, whenever is comfortable for you, set an alarm on your phone maybe. You could literally just read them. You can say them out loud. You can say them out loud and do a dance while you do it. It's completely up to you and your comfort level. But I can tell you guys what I've learned is that when you start doing this and making a habit out of it, everything around you changes. You start to truly believe it and you start to pay attention to the opportunities that are in your life to start making these things come true. It's not magic. It's not magical attraction. It's neuroscience and brain science of how you are retraining your brain to think a different way. you're doing those exercises. It's much like if you want a bicep, guys, you can't just go lift up a pen and go, oh, yes, one time I got biceps. You have to go out there and you have to keep doing those exercises over and over until your biceps so strong that you can go like a week without exercise and pick it back up week without, you know what I mean? You got to build it up, okay? So that's what we're going to do here with these affirmations. So here's a couple of my 5 favorite affirmations for people that are going through this experience. You can tell yourself, and I want them to be I am statements or current statements, even if you don't currently believe it or you don't currently have what you're trying to rewire your brain to think and what your desires are. So number 1, I am a good person with a lot to offer. Number 2, my heart is healing. Number 3, I am confident and strong and improving my life every day. Number 4, I can handle this. And number 5, I have an opportunity now to create the life I want. All of these are so true, whether you believe them or not, but I guarantee you when you start implementing this into your daily practices, your daily routine, you're going to start not only believing it, but seeing it too. Another one of my favorite things that you can start doing right now is journaling. And you don't have to be a writer. You don't have to write pages on these. You can literally just fill in the blank. You could just think them. But when you start reconnecting and rediscovering yourself, you're going to start empowering and rebuilding those confidence blocks that you need to really step into the thrival mode. Yes, I think I might have made a word up, thrival, but it's kind of my new favorite word. Now, there is so much more to all of this, and I will be teaching it in something coming up shortly that I will give you guys access to. But for now, I'm just going to give you a little taste. So here are some examples of things that you can start even just thinking about what you want and what you need, because you really can't get anywhere until you start rediscovering who you are and what you want and what you desire. So some examples for journaling prompts are: my perfect life a year from now would look like. Lessons I learned from my most recent relationship are. If I could have the perfect day, it would be. You could write a letter to yourself for a year from now about how proud you are of where you are a year from now. This is creating another visualization of where you're going to be so that you can start working towards that person. And another one is: currently my greatest fears and worries are. It's good to be aware of our fears and worries, and that's something that I work with people on in the program much more in depth and how to overcome them, but it's really, really good to understand what they are. Now, listen, it's pretty common for people to say, why would I need a divorce coach? Why would I need to plug into a divorce coaching program? What if I don't have the money for it? And I promise I'm going to address all of these in our next video. But I want you guys to know that when you're going through a life-changing event like divorce, having an experienced, knowledgeable sounding board and support in place will ensure that you will make the smartest decisions for your family and your future. As a trained coach, I help you understand and cope with the wide ranges of emotions that you're experiencing, while at the same time, I help you strategize the necessary steps to move through the divorce process and prepare for your life beyond divorce. Therapy helps you cope, but coaching is a more action-oriented process designed to help you make changes in your life that enhance your coping. I am so excited to teach you what I started doing every single day that changed everything for me in the form of a really simple, easy to implement routine. And I'm going to share that with you guys in the next video. If you're excited to hear more and want more information on what's coming next, be sure to say Thrive below. Now, I'm going to invite you to comment below one of your favorite affirmations as you say it to yourself that I've shared with you today, or make your own up. Thanks so much for watching.